I want every single girl out there that's pegging these boys. You better.
You're doing it for the culture.
Yes, girl. And patriarchy, girl, please.
This is one small step for mankind, one huge thrust for womankind. Yep. Something like that. Like,
there we go. Put that on a shirt, girl. Y'all want merch? Here we go.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mikey.
And it's your girl, Eden Barbarella.
And you're listening to a brand new episode of Dirty Talk.
Girl,
what's up?
First of all, acknowledge how cute that was.
You can take a girl out of the saddle, but the saddle stays in you.
Coming for all the girl groups. 2-year hiatus, and we come back sounding like Destiny's Child. Oh, no, pick a duo. Ali, AJ.
A duo.
M2M.
I don't know. Samson and Sons. Sanford and Sons.
Samson and Yeti.
Yes.
Our
duo.
Yeah.
Owl City.
And Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah, right?
I was just about to say something. It was so good. It had to, who were you naming off? Name some of them people you was just talking about.
Sanford and Sons. It's a show from like the 80s.
I wanted to give you your flowers on how you've like blossomed into a tech guru.
Because I've got an adapter for this, an adapter for that.
Yeah, Mikey's so set up. He's just like, and you look so comfortable too. We're gonna have to get a visual episode at some point, but right now y'all just gonna have to listen to me describe this wonderful view. We have Mikey.
I look like the Venus de Milo.
Yes, laid out in seductive denim.
Double dutching with my labias.
Girl, how have you been?
Good.
How's life?
Nothing's gone off the rails, right?
Big mood.
Per se, I guess, right?
I feel like both of us, first of all, Mikey and I are the hustlers of yesteryear, today, and tomorrow. Always working. We work hard. We got 2 jobs. We're hard. We bad bots. Well, you got to be living in LA because, girl, the cost of living, well, actually, take that back because, girl, that would have worked 5-10 years ago saying, oh, in NYC, LA, stuff is expensive. But, girl, the cost of living is expensive everywhere on the planet.
That's what
Montana, Fiji.
I don't understand. It's like people say, oh, the cost of living is cheaper elsewhere, but you are also getting paid elsewhere less unless you have like some sort of salaried gig. Like if you have a salaried gig and are living in
work from home,
then that's the move.
Living in Idaho, girl, paying $500.
Most of the time, the people that I'm working with are in the same tax bracket as me, right? They are just moving out of state to go work another entry level, quote unquote, entry level job.
Yeah, ain't nobody trying to do that. And at least in the big cities, that's why I say big cities, they'll at least try to pay you well. You know, you're not going to be getting the $7.50 rate in LA. They're going to start you at what, $15, $16 an hour. There's still some states that are still paying people $7.25.
That's what I mean.
And I'm like, what do you expect? Like, y'all ain't going to be able to do nothing. You can't even get no dang Chipotle burrito with that. You're going to have to get a kid's meal for lunch.
If that.
Because they can't even pay you
for tax. That's without tax.
You know? But shout out to everybody, despite this global craziness, for keeping your heads high and doing the damn thing.
Watch me double dutch or whatever. I don't know. That's a somewhat of a reference in there.
But what was that move that I just did?
You were feeling it.
So we've been gone for a minute, but we're back with the jump off. But what have you been doing? Tell me about life. What has been like an amazing, just
nothing's been amazing.
Big mood.
But like I feel in a transformative, physical, like rock bottom moment, but nothing like what you see. Like I'm not in like a crack den doing handy blowies. I don't know. Like I don't feel at my pinnacle anymore, and I'm trying to get that back. I'm in a different living situation than I was 2 years ago.
And I'm gonna point this out. Mikey's place is so cute, girl.
Hard work.
So cute, girl.
Thank you. It's shout out to the best friend though for hooking it up.
Shout out. We see you. See.
Life is life, right? It was nothing lasts forever, which is
girl, that should have been the title of this.
Nothing lasts forever. They say, nothing good lasts forever, but like nothing bad lasts forever. Right? Like that's sort of the flip side to that coin. Is
Well, why you think we got seasons? We should be seeing this as humans. Every year we see change happening, and yet we still think, oh, we just gonna stay status quo forever.
That's one of the
gonna
like,
change
okay.
around
So
us.
here's a little thought that I had. You know, in California, I grew up here my entire life. Transplants will often say they moved to California for the weather, right? I realized I'm like, we don't have seasons, right? It's just kind of like brisk weather most of the year.
Right.
Rainy, maybe a handful of days out of the year. Fire season, summer season.
Well, it's hard.
But it's got to be nice to be in some place like Idaho or one of the Dakotas or Arkansas or East Coast where you have true indicators of the time passing. Like, you know, the seasons where you have a true proper autumn, a true proper winter, a true proper spring, and a proper summer. Like, it gives you those markers. Whereas, sort of out here, if you're not doing anything, it kind of feels like Groundhog Day, where you're
do the time warp.
experiencing. Yes,
girl.
you know what I mean? Like,
51st date.
so it does feel sort of like that. So I'm like, it's a thought that I had. I was like, I wonder if people that grew up with seasons have a different referential point for time, as opposed to somebody like me.
I love that.
In
Well,
this
listeners,
tropic environment.
let us know, like, if y'all got, you know, because I be hearing the people in Chicago, girl, be getting negative 50 degrees, girl. I don't know if I could ever do that, girl. So more power to all of y'all who withstand
My middle
those
sister
winters.
just moved to Colorado Springs.
Ooh,
Colorado.
ooh,
The day that she moved there, -1. She's been in California her whole life.
Yeah, girl.
I don't think she owns a puffer jacket or tube socks. We
she
are
got
an
to get
ankle sock family.
a whole set from Sheen, girl. 'Cause-
We need thigh highs. Cover every last bit of skin.
or you can be like Cardi B. What did she say?
Your hoe never gets cold.
Oh, never gets cold. I love her for that. Personally, for me,
Yeah.
life has kind of been not the same, but I've learned a lot. I've learned that same theme that nothing is forever. So you really got to cherish any moment that you actually like, or even all the hard times too, girl. Because we done had a couple of those as well. But I've started to see, okay, well, you'll get through that. You'll get through that valley, but sometimes you'll also be at a very good high, and that might end too. You know, nothing is ever set, but you'll also be able to navigate and find where you're supposed to be. So don't worry. Just relax through, and like a boomerang, things will come back if you need it.
I'm coming back like a boomerang.
Yep, popping it, girl. Speaking of folks who pop it, drop it, and do what it do, I would love to get into our Freak of the Week.
Halle Bailey's newborn baby.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Halle has been the Freak of the Week, girl. Her and DDG, girl. Oh my goodness. But I'm proud of them. I don't know. They seem very happy in comparison to...
Seem happy, but I don't think people are happy for them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But why is that? I know everyone says, oh, we wanted better for her and blah, blah, blah. But I see based off of people's energy, and she has never lost her glow since she did Little Mermaid, since she did The Color Purple, since she was doing stuff with her sister.
What a monumental year, though, for like breakout talent-wise. And then to just band cap it off with, I'm getting the baby part out of it.
Also was one of the most talked about people of the year. That's also
true.
like positive, not positive marketing, but like great
She
brand
was
strategy.
pregnant during the Little Mermaid press tour. That would have been around like her first trimester, which is crazy to me.
Right. Everyone's like begging
She's
and pleading
sitting on
to like
months of content.
We gotta hope 2024 is all about Halle Bailey. The Freak of the
Haley
Week.
Bailey. Haley Bailey baby.
Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
Halle Bailey.
Halle-
Say that 3 times, girl.
Halle Bailey baby. Oh, not bad for a stutter, right? Halle Bailey baby. Halle Bailey baby. Halle Bailey baby.
But I think the name is also cute too.
Halle Bailey.
I done forgot it already. What is it? Halo. That's so cute. That's cute.
That's cute. That's a cute name. I was like, you know, if you're gonna be biblical, I guess. That's...
Well, but don't you think? Because if you think out of Chloe and Halle, I don't want to say that Chloe is a devil, but Halle gives me. Halle gives me more of the soft, sweet,
yes,
angelic.
she is the softer of the two, whereas
So for her to have the kid,
Chloe had that song of "I'm gonna fuck your man."
Do you ever wonder whoever is fucking your man. I said, okay.
Fucking your man.
Listen, justice for Body Do. Body Do should have been at the top of the charts. That is a pop. I'm surprised you don't even like that song because it's hyper pop. It's like, it's not giving me Kylie, but it's definitely giving me, you could play that at the dance clubs you like going to.
I realized over the last year, I am someone that is so stuck in their ways. I already know all the songs that I like. You know what I mean?
Like you said, take me back to 2009.
You saw my Spotify, like top 100 of 2023. It's the same songs as the year before. And then the year before that, I've had the same top 100 songs for the last 15 years.
Dedication, though. Those
Evacuate the Dance Floor by Cascada.
Come on. I was literally humming that the other day. Anyway, shout out to Halle Bailey's baby. Halle herself. Shout out to DDG. And shout out to everyone minding their business instead of judging people who are getting pregnant because, let's face it, as a podcast like Dirty Talk, we already know that everybody like to fuck. So sometimes
even if they're a mermaid and don't have a human vagina,
they figure out a way to make it happen, girl. But the point is, whether y'all want to like be all prim and proper and pretend like, oh, we're supposed to abide by these certain cultural norms and do all of this or whatever, or you're going to be a free ass motherfucker. At the end of the day, everybody's still doing the same patterns. So focus on self. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying your own personal sex? Are you ready to have your babies? That's what you should be focused on. Let her do her thing and let her be a freak of the year. Not a freak of the week.
She's Grammy nominated.
Yeah, Grammys. That's what I'm saying. That's what it's called. Oh, you got a baby. You don't have all these movies. You about to probably roll out with a bunch of other new stuff. I love it. Just keep on going. I just hope they don't do that. You know, this is my one thing I can't stand with the celebs, girl. When they make the kids' profiles, but the kids be like 6 months, and then the kids be commenting on their parents' page. Like, that's the mom.
Having to type in a goo goo gaga.
But you know what I mean? I was like, okay, granted, it's probably like the PR manager or social media manager or whatever, but still, I don't know.
Imagine getting your job is to pretend to be a toddler. That's
girl,
your job.
How much they paying, girl? If it's a nice, that's $25-$30 an hour, girl. I'll sit up there Google Gaga on the shade room. Yeah, could you?
Pacifier emoji.
Oh my goodness, we ain't got no sense, y'all. Well, let's get into some random topics. We felt like since we are making a big return, we'll do a medley of random topics. They're just, big pop culture things. We'll see. But I want to start out with talking about the fact that I don't want to say we were trendsetters, but we was definitely ahead of the curve when it came to these damn podcasts. Because in comparison to 2020, you get into 2024, girl.
Has one.
Everybody has a podcast. Everybody, grandma, the aunties, the cousins, the 2-year-olds, because y'all know they know how to work the iPhones and they be up and they can edit.
2-year-old, you mean to tell me a 2-year-old can have a podcast, but they can't control their own Instagram account?
They still not potty trained, girl, but they gonna edit your podcast for you. But isn't this crazy, girl? It's crazy to have watched a whole industry like morph before our eyes compared to, I don't want to say that we were judged for being daredevils and coming out with our own content in the form of a podcast, but there were those critics that were onlookers, and then those same people are now the biggest fans of everybody's podcast on Spotify and Apple Music and all of that. It's just crazy to see how it's settled into everybody has a podcast, everybody has something to say, and they're going to distribute that.
It is interesting because it's like, for me, if everybody's saying something, not everybody's saying something. Or something like that, Girl. If everybody's saying something, then not everything means something. And where for me my anxiety about revisiting this is making sure that this aligns with how I feel and it being an appropriate medium and an outlet. I wonder we talk about equity, social equity, things like that. Am I holding up valuable space, attention? We're all fighting for that, right? Is me existing, saying this, taking away from someone else's perspective? Could somebody else be using this medium, this platform, in a more substantial way?
Girl, I done already told you that though, girl. You have a voice because you have been through, outside of your sexual orientation, you have been through so much life and you have so much perspective. I don't want to say this like negatively, but you have been othered by society in various forms. So you do deserve to have a platform to speak your shit and say what you got to say.
That's nice to hear. My anxiety, my hang up is I guess maybe internally don't feel like confident in my ability to speak up. It feels very much like when I'm in big groups, you've seen me at parties, even with people that I know, I'm very
So
shy, reserved, and it's hard for me to interject and make my voice known because everybody gets their moment to talk and like that's how it is in my head, but that's not always how it actually is. And doing this and being an online content creator, air quotes around that, like is the same thing. I'm fighting for digital presence, fighting for doing the same thing I would do at parties, but like on a much grander scale. Because now sometimes it feels like I'm shouting, like being on the internet, shouting into the void, right? Because it's like, but then on the flip side, it's like at least it's nice to have said whatever it is I wanted to say, to have expressed myself in one way or another. Does feel really nice, but I'm still very much hung up on feeling confident in my ability to take up space.
I feel that, girl, but you gotta understand, your authenticity is how we became friends. You putting yourself out there on the internet is how we found each other. So that community aspect, even if it reverts back to like podcasting in general, if there's one thing that I can say that's a positive, is that it's stimulating community. I love looking at the comments, even on these tragic podcast clips that I be seeing. It gets so many people corralled together, and I love that. And I think that's what the internet should be about. Like, people coming together to really talk about like good shit. Well, not always good shit, but they talking at least. And I think that's what we need more of. We're not afraid to like, it'll help you speak up the same way that you're like, you're working towards. You be in there, girl. I be seeing you at the places. So I know you be anxious in your head, but you be being fierce. So get your thing. But I do agree with you on one thing. Not everybody need to be having no mic because everybody be repeating the same episodes and topics over and over again. I don't need people asking, is it wrong to sleep in the same bed with the opposite sex if I'm married or engaged? Girl, obviously you don't need to make a 40-minute podcast about some random stupid hypothetical like that because we already know the answer to that. And we've already been listening to episodes about that since 2019. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all gonna be doing this, come with some, a little bit. I'm not saying you got to be all in depth or whatever, but don't be just repeating the same stuff over and over again. And we also need to be removing the microphones from a lot of these cis straight men because they are letting the misogyny just bleed and echo, and they're so blinded by the fame and the allure of being noticed that they can't even hear the bullshit that be coming out of their mouths. And a lot of it is like tragic. Like, if you were saying this to your own mom or your own sister or whatever, or someone was saying that to them, you would be so pissed off. And yet you on the internet saying crazy stuff.
I don't know if it's true or not, but my store manager says that he is related to Alex Jones.
Ooh.
And do I know if that's true?
Ooh.
I don't. Speaking of crazy,
you need to do some
podcast.
yeah, you want to
please welcome friend of the pod, Alex Jones.
Let's do a
Alex,
follow-up.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Earlier, we got to circle back.
Yeah, we're going to circle back. I have a report due, EOD. Thanks, babes.
Well, you know who's been reporting on the gram with her twirls and her bikinis and sometimes the emojis all over
her knives.
Her knives. Forgot about that. Ooh.
Everybody was so scared of the knives, but I'm just like, it's funny to me. Like, I get it. Like, sometimes you just want to twirl with knives.
She's my favorite form of entertainment, and I actually do be feeling like she's feeling free. And so who am I to take that away from anybody, especially of everything that she's gone through? Do your thing. But as Danger would say, the legendary Miss Britney Spears has released her memoir. It was juicy, girl.
It was a bit of a slow burn at first, and I'm like, you're taking forever talking about the whole part about her brother getting.
Listen,
What was it? Not beat
Yeah,
up.
about a dad.
He crashed a ATV, and then to have the same situation happen to Brittany's younger sister's daughter.
Ooh. Well, they wasn't learning, girl, because they reactions reading a book, girl. The number one thing I got is they family don't listen. They don't listen to each other. They don't listen to nobody. They just do whatever they want. Number two, I'm waiting for, I know he done just lost his leg or whatever, but I'm waiting outside the hospital or wherever he at, because we about to be fighting Mr. Jamie.
When they say when the other shoe
nasty,
drops,
evil man.
he ain't got no shoes to drop.
Eden doesn't fight, but that would be one of the few people on this
If I
planet
ever
would just
saw
love to, like,
that man in real
nice
life,
little backhands.
it would be on site. Like
Mikey said it's on site, y'all.
I would be like, slap him upside the head with
Yes.
his amputated leg.
I'm very surprised that her mom hasn't tried to, like, them stories. You be loving them weird stories on the True TV and stuff like that. Putting a pine sol in the soup.
Oh, poison. I was like, what do you?
Yeah, like,
what do you?
the innovative ways to just, like, I'm surprised she ain't do that either, because he's called tell for a lot of people, not just Brit. Well, let's not talk about him because he's evil. What were some of your favorite parts of the book?
I like the joy that comes across when she's talking about a happy moment. I can, like, her running around the Palms Hotel felt very charming.
Yes.
Her talking about her kids is really sweet and
She love
tender.
them kids, y'all.
I'm trying to think of what else. I read the book. I didn't read the book. I did the audio book.
Oh, yes. Well, girl,
Because
when we was listening to that, did you feel it was a little short? Them chapters was like 2 minutes.
I mean, that's what I like. So I knew that reading the book would be like a huge undertaking for me. I've got a mild form of dyslexia. I could read the same page 10 times. And I know what the words mean on the page, but I don't retain any of it. And I, like, get slower each time because I'm, like, trying to really, like, focus. And then I focus too hard and then my brain goes blank. And then I flip the words. It's a whole mess. Reading her captions on Instagram is difficult sometimes.
Girl, she be writing them essays, girl.
She
dissertations.
She is very Shakespearean to me.
It's like coded.
In that, like, it confuses me. And normal people don't talk like that.
It's 7 stories in one story.
But somehow they all wind up back together.
They do be making sense. I know they do. I know
somebody smarter than me with a literary degree can do a Spark Notes and I think
the
that's
chapter's just as sporadic as the dances.
The style of how the book is written, I think, is very charming because there's not so much consistency in there being a narrative. It's just sort of like
her spilling.
My favorite word, vignette. It's a collection of vignettes. It kills me. It's just like you said, 1 page, 2 pages, 3. And I'm like, you can tell that her instruction was most likely write what you feel, what you remember, what you're comfortable.
And we'll try to piece it together for you.
And then somebody's job was to piece it together and format it, edit it, and make it packageable. But
it was a lot of good stuff. I really liked the stuff with Justin. I wasn't expecting her to be
him. Bullshit, genuine.
I mean, it makes sense, but because we all knew Justin is kind of like a culture vulture guy, but she put his true tea out there, and it makes sense. Like, a lot of men back then anyway, because we really didn't get to see them get daggered like those girls did in the late 90s and early 2000s. She talked about it like, why are people asking about my boobs in interviews? And like, nobody wanted to focus on the music or the tours or anything like that.
Costumes,
they wanted to focus on like bringing her down. Miss Diane Sawyer, she another one that's going to be on that list.
I hope her leg goes off next too.
Yeah. Brit loves New York. And
same girl.
Yes, girl, I understand.
The girlies, they get it. She gets it.
And the other thing I loved is the fact that she acknowledged the fact that Blackout is, one of her best bodies of work. Is a masterpiece.
She loves Get Naked.
Yeah, she
the
says
same way I look
That's
at
crazy.
naked.
I was not expecting her to say that as one of her favorite songs. When I heard that, I was like, oh.
The first time I ever heard it, I'm like, this is going to be a thing for me. This is an attachment. I am now attached to this song forever. It is, from first listen, one of my favorite Britney songs of all time. Top 10 for sure.
One song that I never really used to listen to that I know that you love, but now that I've been listening to it a lot, Breathe on Me. That is, oh, girl.
I don't.
It's like angelic.
It is perfect from beginning to end.
The sensuality of it all.
It is so. It is soft. It is sexy. It is.
But that's what it feels like. That's what the room is. Like if you walked into the room, that's.
I love that it pulsates and it ends in a sort of sonic orgasm.
Yeah, when she does that high note.
I'm like, that's not it, but
it kind of makes sense. I don't want to put her business out there, but y'all, Britney was doing her little thing when she was a youngin'. So I'm glad that her authenticity with her sexuality read through some of our favorite songs. She wasn't just moaning.
Brit's horny and she wants you to know.
them some real moans. Because sometimes, and I got to come from my girl, because you know I love me some Janet. But sometimes on Janet's older records, they used to be trying to make her moan and stuff like that. And I was like, girl, if you don't go sit down somewhere, that is not giving me like, I don't know. Maybe
that's not giving me sexual pleasure.
But then I'm thinking about, she probably in the recording booth, is 18 men in there. They probably all eyeing her. You know what I mean? So maybe she just had to do what she had to do. But Brit, she gave that authentic essence. So shout out to Breathe on Me. That's going to be an honorary Dirty Bop.
I did see something about somebody being arrested for leaking her music and potentially facing upwards of 20 years in prison.
Girl,
for leaking her music, which, 20 years is a lot of time, and there should be a crime for leaking someone's music.
I think that's
20 years feels steep.
I would say a little nice 6, 8.
10 max if they're leaking not even the good songs.
I'm just thinking about, girl, we used to be in the 8th grade on LimeWire. We was just talking about that the other day. I had Danny D. Kane Showstopper demo from LimeWire that was clearly from some engineer that leaked that shit because it still had Don's
exclusive.
Yep, it had them tags with the real Crystal Crew.
AOL.com.
But then it also has Dawn doing these like sick ass ad libs that she does live on the live show videos that I watch on YouTube. And I always wondered like where she got that from, is because she actually recorded it, which I hate because Dawn sings the least on Showstopper. I don't know if you realize this. She has the least amount of parts, and you know how much I love her. But she used to have these ad libs, and on the LimeWire one I had, it had that version. And I was like, we used to be, I don't want to say leakers, but we had a lot of pirated stuff when we were teens and stuff like that. We would have been in jail for life based off of
I was always so nervous about pirating. My dad would pirate stuff. I wouldn't do it I would ask him, I'd be like, hey, this thing. Sometimes I'd get the album for Christmas or my birthday if the timing worked out, but most of the time if I asked for something, he would give me a pirated version, which is weird because
protecting your ass.
Well, yes, and maybe protecting the family computer, but it was weird. He would go out and buy his own music. We'd go to Target and he would buy music, but if I would ask for something, it would get downloaded. I guess maybe on the off chance, like, I end up not liking it or whatever, it's not a waste of money, but it also, like, in hindsight feels weird. Like, another thing I've seen online people do on Spotify is, you know how there's bonus tracks for like international releases of albums. I don't know if it's so much true so much anymore that people, because physical media is on its way out, right? Like, it's been the case, writings on the wall for the last 20 years. But people would import those CDs, yada, 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 or buy them off online, change their location, buy it off of iTunes, and then upload those files on Spotify as a podcast. Oh. I was like, that's smart. I will give you an A for innovation because that is slick.
Speaking of slick and innovation, girl, the men's have been getting real innovative with how they're doing things in the bedroom in 2023 and 2024.
Playing with pussies.
Well, it seems like you brought up a good point. First of all, y'all, the boys be liking to get pegged. If y'all ain't know, peg is the new trend, and I'm kind of okay with it. I think it's cute. But Mikey brought up a lot of interesting information to me earlier that I didn't even think about. Then I'm just like, oh, which I don't want to steal your thunder, but I love the segment of women feeling like they have power. I want every single girl out there that's pegging these boys. You're
doing it for the culture.
Yes, girl. And patriarchy, girl, please.
This is one small step for mankind, one huge thrust for womankind. Yep. Something like that. Like,
there we go. Put that on a shirt, girl. Y'all want merch? Here we go. But do y'all thing, please, because they need it. If Vladimir Putin just bent over and had a little moment, I feel like hit the wiring of his brain, all that, he would just be like, oh, okay, maybe I just need a little balance.
Who's to say it's not happening?
We don't know. I mean, we live in LA. We live in the city, one of the cities of the sins and secrets. So you were not
what
far
did they
off,
say? I found this survey online. It's a privately funded survey. This womenshealth.com. I don't know the legitimacy of this, but they said that California is the #1 state for pegging.
I ain't surprised. No, to be honest, I can believe that, but I also feel like we got some competitors like Utah, competitors in them states where they be pretending like, oh, they so holy and sanctified, and they don't even know what that is. They be the main ones on Grindr, main ones doing all these things, trying to make stuff. Yep, that's what we need to be researching. The Pornhub stats. You know what I'm talking about?
We should rank Pornhub stats.
Y'all want to listen to that?
We should rank Pornhub stats.
But
like,
they
why
show
is
you
Idaho #12 in MILF porn?
Yeah. We need to discuss this, because this is my issue with society is we have been trained to view, I hate to say the matrix, but view these statuses and these symbols of how we're supposed to live life as the truth. And then there's an actual truth. And we as queer people get to experience actual truth on a daily basis because we don't naturally subscribe to what that is. So we get to see all the behind the scenes and the underground and all the undercover stuff. It's starting to surface a little bit, I would say, in more recent years. But for the most part, girl, like in them states, all these politicians, all these right-wing, we hate the gays. We are confirming for all our listeners right now, they are the main ones begging for trans women, for queer sex, queer encounters, drugs, poppers, all that. That's their life behind the scenes. So please do not get it twisted. They be taking their trips to California, and that's how we got rated as #1 for pegging.
You know that they found
they be over here.
strap-ons and things like that in Pompeii
from back in the day.
From back.
Girl, them having I was reading that the other day about medievals that they the women used to use bread, girl.
Stale bread. Too.
Yeah, they would bake the little biscuit. Well, what's that? What? Not me doing the motion. What's the little thing from France? A baguette.
A baguette.
That's what I'm assuming. That's a cylinderish.
That's very phallic. Baguettes are very.
They said that they would wait 3 days for it to harden, but they needed to do that because they needed something that wouldn't be a symbol of evidence, because during that time in medieval culture, that was unheard of.
Cucumbers weren't yet invented.
Well, that's you're so funny, because I sent the article to a friend, and that's the first thing my friend said. She said, I would have just used a cucumber.
Broomstick. I mean, what's worse, splinters in your coochie or crumbs? Sourdough crumbs.
Don't you think the bread could dissolve a little bit? You know,
we've been in Maggiano's. You try cutting the bruschetta.
Not coochie bruschetta. What you have for snack, girl?
Bruschetta. Ew.
It ain't got no sense. But shout out to them for knowing that they needed their pleasure back in the day.
Having the sense enough to shove some loaf.
Yeah.
A loaf.
Not the medieval
bread.
people. I'm talking about the folks in Pompeii, because I'm pretty sure they had real engineering.
You know, you had to have a brain cell or two to make a dildo in year 3, you know?
And to know that you deserve self-pleasure, because that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to go back to Greece when they was, having sex 24/7, but it would have been really interesting to grow up in an age, because we don't know anything about that, where sex wasn't so taboo and scorned upon. Because there was a point in time as humans before religion where I'm pretty sure all day we probably walked outside, we just saw people just doing their thing, because there was no sense of shame,
Back
no
before
rules.
cruising was cruising, and it was just called normal.
Girl, I know it, that used to happen. I know. And I don't want to say I want to participate, but your girl would have loved to have been a fly on the wall just
know
to see
that
how it's like.
I would have that opportunity and not be like worried about it.
Or to also observe how other people that didn't want to participate minded their business and kept on going.
So that's one reason I love like Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. Seeing these people fucking in a park. Mm-hmm. And it's like, not that I want to do that per se. But I wish I had the confidence and not enough anxiety and fear of getting caught to do something like that. How do you compartmentalize, I could get caught any second?
For them, the same way that I feel like you have anxiety, because I feel like my anxiety sometimes feels like a cloth or like a blanket hovering over like my soul or aura. The same way that we have that, their blanket is hedonism or that thrill. So that feeling will always supersede getting caught or any of that. They don't care. They just gonna do it. And shout out to them. I am in like amazed at the confidence that they're
I like watching it.
I'm about to bend over.
You the one doing the bending.
Come on, Janet. Shout out. Listen, Janet. Have you ever seen that movie?
Ain't nobody bending me over.
Shout out to Janet. She did her role.
We should do a Dirty Talk movie night.
Come on, y'all. We gonna start our Discord.
You were gonna have to teach me how to use Discord first.
I'm going out of order, even though I told you we was gonna stay in order. Because you brought up a good point about X/Twitter. So I want to talk about your favorite social media apps. What have you been using recently to escape?
Not Facebook. I am definitely like, for whatever reason, I've just fallen out. Like, it's just not.
We millennial, but not that millennial. No Facebook updates.
No, it's hard to like. I go on there and keep track of people that I know do it or use the app, but it's just not my favorite. Like, spend 30 seconds scrolling and I am done because I'm just not seeing the sort of content that I want to see, even though now all the apps sort of have a same vibe to them.
Yeah, the
right?
algorithms be algorithm mean, girl.
They are all the same thing with this short form content, the same vertical with the same. They moved the like button on Facebook on the vertical videos. It's no longer just a like where you would normally go to like something. It's like a donate button. Everything wants your money.
Monetized, yep.
Everything
yep.
is the same content, just recycled posted on the different.
I'm happy for the creator economy because back when I was trying to do the same thing 10 years ago, people would look at me like I was crazy for feeling like that could be like a career path. So it's so cool to see that this is now like one of the leading, is supposed to hit like 3 billion increase within like the next 3 months on like its contribution to society, which I think is great. But it can get very stale if every single social media platform adopts like the same format, the same push of it all. There's going to be, which I think is going to happen, even though they're so savvy with that fucking technology, baby alphas are going to say, fuck all this. We're not going to be on no TikTok when we are teenagers. We're going to go play outside because we don't want to see no damn ad or some creator telling me to go buy flat tummy tea.
Or every other live on TikTok is
your favorites.
The candy shop people. Those are going to be a freak of the week in the future. Shout out to Treehouse Candy.
You love them.
I love TikTok.
Mikey love. And shout out to them. Yeah, we're gonna have to
we're gonna give them a proper shout out, a freak of the week showcase. Just that they're fighting for their lives, trying to formulate a sentence.
Oh my gosh. Because everybody knows that you can profit. Not everybody wants to do that. And so it's so interesting to see everybody like be a creator, but everyone is a creator.
Everybody, and that's the thing is, if
there's nothing separating us from any of Charlie D'Amelio and all that. They a human being just like us, girl.
It feels very much like what the big baddie from Incredible said. I don't remember what his name. What's his name?
The villain, that little man.
Yeah, with the hair.
Girl, I know what he looked like, girl, but
I know he's voiced by Jason.
Girl, the only
Jason Lee.
That's what I was about to say. That
Jason. I wasn't saying Jason Schwartzman because that's obviously I think the more famous Jason. Jason Bourne's the most famous Jason, right? Killer Jason.
Okay, yeah. Well, imagine him, girl.
Then you got Jason from Power Rangers.
Girl, somebody said that Jason Lee. It's time for him to give it a rest because he's been doing this for too long. I gotta crack.
He needs that machete has got to be dull. rusted.
This is why I can't stand TikTok. TikTok is like unhinged territory. And I think we need that. I feel like our whole lives we have been conditioned to try to like keep this upkeep that everything in the world is so prim and proper. Nothing goes wrong in America. Across the globe, everything is just fine. And then you get on TikTok, it's sad,
Crisis.
but yes,
Proof.
yes, we're seeing
Timeline.
Shout out Heather. It's just a mouse. A mouse.
As I was saying about
laughing, crying.
Whatever Mr. Jason is from The Incredibles, if everybody's special, nobody's special, right? And that's sort of how I feel about like if we're all content creators and nobody's a content creator, right? Like we're all, not everybody's day is going to be interesting. Get ready to go with me to the DMV. Like, what? Get ready with me to go to the Habit?
not the Habit.
Get ready for me as I work my shift at Alexander Graham Bell.
Stop. Wait, at least these people are going places, and your reference is I watch someone and sad on me, but I'd be wanting to help the people, so I'll always like the videos that only have like 2 likes and stuff like that because I want them to have
what I
want to
know is how those videos pop up on my timeline. Because if you're thinking, in my head I think of the algorithm as producing, like giving me content that's already got traction. How does something with 0 likes?
It could be a topic that you as a consumer actually like, so then it's up to you to try to pour into that person. If they're talking about Brit and they say a good point, give them that like so it could be heard. But regardless, I think on there, I love that we are the ones that have created our own entertainment for ourselves, and we've cut out Hollywood as like the main girl, or the music industry as the main girl, on dictating what we want as consumers.
Like it's a different distribution channel.
Right. Like we are empowering each other to grow, and like it's not projected so much as it was like when we were in our teens and stuff like that. Like sometimes I love all the artists and stuff that we listen to, but I was like, wow, this seems like one big curated Spotify playlist that someone did on VH1 for 3 years, and that's why I like Sarah Bareilles. Whereas TikTok, I feel like if we had that in the early 2000s, the 2010s, we would have been hit with like so many different waves of so many different, like Afro beats would have been a big wave. It wouldn't have been until the 2020s that would have taken over the world, and Selena Gomez as an Afro beat song, because it would have had like the opportunity to be like hit with us. So that's why I love it, is because we're the ones controlling.
Is that the song that goes lo 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 lo?
See, who would have thought that? And which is interesting to me, but because I used to love it, but now I can't say that. Maybe that'll be another topic another time. But all this K-pop on the damn radio, it doesn't seem authentic. It feels like a major push because they want to get some money, because they know their American artists are not making no money. So they did all these joint ventures with all of these K-pop companies or whatever.
That's exactly
and now
what
they're
it is.
all on our TVs and all on the radio. And I'm not taking away from their art, because they're obviously killer. They all can sing, they all can dance, etc. But it's the business behind it that makes me not even want to indulge, because I know it's just being thrown on me, which is exactly what I'm saying about TikTok. That's the opposite of it. It's like we're the ones controlling what's thrown at us, not whomever in the office saying, oh, okay, well, we're going to integrate and make K-pop the next thing, the next wave for 3 years and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That manufactured engineering, consumerism stuff, I don't like.
Is that sort of not the allure of K-pop groups, is that they are put together, they are a product, they are
but
they for a fact that these people have gone and spent the last like 12 years 15 years of their life in schools training for this moment, like
for their debut.
They come off of a manufacturing line to go into whatever deals it is that they make.
I just feel that the way they used to do it back in the day with like Girls' Generation and like a lot of those older groups felt a little bit more authentic. Like Girls' Generation would do a tour and maybe they would do like one stop here in the States. It didn't seem like a forced, even though, I don't know, because it would have been cool to have them do a tour here. I don't know. I just feel like it's a big money grab. And I didn't feel that way when we were younger and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I felt like there was connection to the genre, to the artist, to all those things.
Everything
now
being
I feel
a
like
money grab.
You have to listen to this K-pop song. Whereas before it was like, oh, I discovered this group and they have like 9 or 11 members, and I gotta tell my friends. And I don't know. It just seems like you don't have no room to discover for yourself no more. They just slammed it in your face.
My entire process, a mental like note that I've made note of, is you hear the music industry doesn't make money anymore. You can't make money. You can't make a living in the music industry. And that's just like if somebody's trying to be a solo artist, right? So then I think about like bands. I'm like, that's gotta be hard being like an indie pop band or even like Imagine Dragons, like having to split all that. You cut in your manager, you cut in your agents, you cut in your lawyer, you have to pay the record label back first, and then what's with whatever's left over, you have to split between like the members. All that still applies when you're a 17-member group. What? How? That's the economy, the economics. They don't make sense to me.
In addition to everything that you just named, you're also in debt because you're on a loan when you sign that contract to your label. So a band like Imagine Dragons has to pay all their tour, all those people or whatever, and then they got to still pay back the label what they originally owed for taking a bet on them. So it's just like,
and then going
no
back,
wonder why people want to be creators. It's easy to get ready with me as I brush my teeth.
Get ready for me as I go to my closet. Go circling back to what you said about cash grabs. Like, part of my bright-eyed, bushy-tailedness of being a human is gone because now with adult eyes, fully realized, grown-up mindset, everything is a cash grab.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants your money, and that's as a human citizen of Earth, particularly in America, sometimes that's all I feel like.
Just drive down the street. Look at every single building. What is the building for? If it's open to consumers.
A service, something,
goods and
products.
Services.
Yeah. We're all just salesmen.
Yeah. Well, girl, that's why I be doing my hikes, girl. You got to come with me.
What was that?
Come on a hike. Get away from all that.
Have you
Get
done
some
Fryman?
fresh air.
You've done Fryman.
Yeah.
I love Fryman.
Girl, at Frighten, I done busted my little knee. My knee is tore up, y'all. I can't even kneel and do the
No
dirty.
high kicks for mama.
But girl, it was at the very end,
Coming down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
in the neighborhood?
Into the neighborhood, it literally at the there's like these, might have been from the rain, but there's these like divots in the thing. Girl, literally at the very end of the trail, my shoe did a little 1-2 step like Sierra girl, and the knee said pop, and then I had on leggings, so I was like, it hurt a little bit, but I was like, oh, we got to twist down this long ass hill and look at these pretty houses. Girl, got home, girl.
You know the Keeping Home from Kardashians exterior shot?
Is that it?
That's on the
got me freaking out over that dumb show.
The exiting part of that hike.
Oh my god!
Let's do it and I'll show it.
We have to, because in some cute houses, I be looking all in their houses. They be having good artwork.
My boyfriend did the hike last week with his roommate, and they saw Lisa Rinna.
That's so crazy, because one of the people I went with, they said that all the Beverly Hills housewives always filming stuff over there or whatever.
Yeah, this most recent episode, Kyle and Kim did a hike.
See, that's one thing I'm saying.
I'm
like,
fairly confident it was Friday.
Sometimes I'll be like wondering like why I'm here in the city, etc. I'm very happy where I'm at in life or whatever. But it's like little gems like that to be like, oh wow, girl, you like really in the scene. You're not gonna get that in Kansas City. No shade to nobody that's listening from
the
there.
Hiking
but like,
in LA adjacent, the access to the natural resources that we have is just like
and we control 50% of the farming. I get why
people move here. You know, I did. My first boyfriend, his family owned a farm up past Bakersfield. They said that California produces over 50% of the world's almonds and roses.
Wow. Well, that makes sense, because at Trader Joe's, girl, them entrances be decked out with all the flowers, especially a lot of roses.
Yeah, because California produces like over 50% of the world.
So cool.
It's up, maybe upwards of like 80%.
Are you into flowers?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean not.
Like if you got it, but you're not like, if you better get me. I don't know.
No, I'm not. I don't demand flowers. Like, if you give me flowers, if I get flowers, I appreciate the gesture, but it's not like I don't have a favorite type of flower.
So we're gonna do Fryman, and then I'm gonna take you to Trader Joe's. So
let's go to the flower district downtown.
Oh, no.
Ever since I saw that in that movie Valentine's Day, I've wanted to go, and I've lived here my whole life, so I might as well try and make my way around to famous spots.
Literally, that's what I told myself. That's what I'm doing this year, is to like. Well, we talk about that later, but trying the new stuff. I've been in the city for 11 years, and I haven't been to half of these places. Just go. Like, I went to Echo Park the other day. I saw. I don't ever come over here.
You know, they used to have a fence around Echo Park to stop like within like the last start of COVID to like 6 months ago.
I've been seeing that on TikTok. The trying to get people from staying. I don't want to say
everything is anti-homeless.
Yeah, I don't.
What is it? They call it hostile architecture, which is why the bus stops have the bars, which is why you see on some like concrete planters that are around office buildings, they have those metal divots every
the
few
little
feet
cylinder things
to stop people from sleeping on them, to stop skateboarders from skating along them. You know, on have you ever seen on signs on buildings, the illuminated signs, they have like spikes on top?
Oh, I thought those were the pigeons, girl.
To stop the pigeons. That's hostile architecture for pigeons.
Well, that's what I don't like. Like, don't fucking with the animals, because they was here before you build your damn building and was doing all this foolishness or whatever. And they need to just survive, girl. They got hawks and other things trying to chase them too.
So now
they
this
just
pigeon can't have a family because Ashley's Furniture decides like, no, Ashley's Furniture, the irony in that you sell furnishings for your home, but you will not let this bird furnish your sign.
Dirty Talk is about to get their first sponsorship from PETA.
From the birds. Yes. Today's episode is brought to you by pigeons. Hey, pigeons, say thank you.
Who we did a disservice to because we used pigeons so often back in like the 1600s for like mail carrying, etc.
They're like smart.
Right, but then we stopped doing that, and so now they don't know how to live their lives. So that's why we don't ever see pigeons do anything besides just like flock on the sidewalks or sit above us, because their service to society got robbed from them. That's not fair, girl. How you think they feel? 300 years ago, we used to have them in cages and pet them and stuff like that, and now we just
ew, pigeons.
Yeah, that's not cute. And I know they be checking. We always talk about that. The animals. I always be asking you those questions. Do the animals be like? Can they sense race? I always ask you weird questions like that because I do think they can. Like, they have more powers than what we think, and the doctors be saying. I do. Some of these dogs, I feel like they do be talking to their owners. We just can't.
It's just a vibe.
They are communicating something. I know they are, and I ain't even got no pets, girl.
Yeah, you don't
like, I'm not
an
animal girl, and I know it. But the way Mikey looking at me like I'm crazy. Anyway, shout out to TikTok. Shout out to, I would say, YouTube.
I love YouTube content. I live for a video essay. I live for commentary. I sometimes will see something happen on TikTok, but it's late in the day, and I know if I click on like the little suggested search, it's going to take me down
that
the rabbit hole, and I just
avoid those.
At certain times of the day don't have the mental capacity to go down the rabbit hole and retain the information.
Ooh, that's not something.
So if I see something, I'm like, on TikTok, I hope that someone on YouTube will pick up the story and give me a recap. I love YouTube for the detailed explanation, like outsourcing me going down that spiral, that rabbit hole, to someone else. And that's sort of how I view YouTube. I love what I call supplemental content. I'm notoriously bad for not paying attention to movies or TV shows. I will zone out for a split second.
Yeah, when I used to make you watch Frida.
What was that?
When I used to make you watch Big Frida.
Yeah.
Mikey, it'd be like 3 minutes. I look over on the phone,
and I'm on my
looking
phone
at the wall, doing everything
staring
but watching the show.
Trying to count the
even though I still know
carpet.
that you like the show. I know you did.
So
but.
I use YouTube for not supplemental income.
Come on, no, you speaking that into the future, girl. Come on, girl.
I use YouTube for supplemental content. So if I zone out, I know someone on there is going to post 73 things that you missed, or here's 47 Easter eggs. Ooh. And so I like watching that so that I can get a fuller picture of whatever content I absorbed. If I didn't pick up on a symbolism or a theme, someone else may be able to point that out for me.
I think more as consumers, we should all be doing more of that, because this quick bit information, these 15-second videos, y'all are starting to use that as your Bibles on stuff that's not even factual. So sometimes I think you're getting even more of a benefit by getting this like full scoped perspective
full,
on
like, well-rounded.
Exactly. You know,
because then I from YouTube, if I'm fully interested in something, then I am like, okay, then I'm gonna go back over to TikTok.
I feel that TikTok has really innovated the way that we communicate with each other as a society, especially for millennials and Gen Z, and especially with our slang terms that we have been using as a society. There are a few things that I think should be left or should have been left last year, but I'm hearing a lot of this in January, and I think it should stop. But what are some slang terms, Mikey, that you just ain't having?
I don't know how to use the word Riz. I like the sound. I like any word with like a double Z, pizza, palazzo, and Vegas. Pizzazz.
Palazzo. Girl, shut up.
Palazzo. Palazzo, is that what it said?
I don't know.
I like the sound of the word Riz. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to use it.
It does feel awkward to like interject it into like,
and that's how I feel about a lot of like obvious slang. I don't use it or inject it into my vernacular how I speak because it just feels like an outlier.
You be saying ick?
No, I don't say ick. I think I wrote it in the notes because like ick. Yeah, I will. If I say ick, I'll say yuck. Yeah. Yuck.
I say yikes.
Yeah, that's me. I love an onomatopoeia as opposed to like a slang sort of like ick is. I get how it's used and I appreciate it, but that's not what I'm coming for.
I feel like Gen Z, well, they ain't gonna
Riz is something I'm coming for because I don't understand how to use it.
How you feel about
have you heard of Chweggy? I don't even know if I'm Chweggy. Chweggy? I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Nar. That gotta go too.
Nar.
I think we need to, and I say it all the time, but it's giving has to go.
Oh,
that's one term that I feel that Gen Z has taken as like their or their yeah or whatever. I just every day I just hear on every video it's giving this, or even on Thanksgiving they said it's giving season and people were saying it's giving season.
It's giving season
instead of it's giving season for Thanksgiving, y'all. Like, hello. We can't even comprehend normal.
Season. Yeah, no, it's brain
it's
rot.
Giving season.
I heard the term brain rot for the first time the other day, and that's like, okay, it's giving brain rot. I love the phrase it's giving because it's I am the brain rot friend. It's giving very much relatable. It's giving comfort. It's giving cozy. It's giving metaphor. It's giving simile. For me, it hasn't worn out. It's like, what is it? It's not worn in yet. It's not worn out.
Just like this other one
Chweggy.
that also needs
I'm still
to
not
end.
Over Chweggy.
Standing on business. Ill. But I know you want to keep that on the list.
No, it's so funny to me. I'm standing on big business.
Terrible. Well, I like that one lady though.
I'm a big boss. I handle big business.
But she do. You could tell. See,
you want to know what a motherfucking boss is? You motherfucking looking at one.
But don't she look?
Is
she lying to you?
Confident enough to go fucking in the forest. That's the time. Fucking in the forest. And being that lady, that's how confident I want to be.
Your vision board.
My vision board.
No standing on business, everyone. Like, it's great to stand on your business, but I just feel like everyone just wants to say it when it's not needed.
When it's not giving.
Standing
on business sounds too like Douth Oth protests too much, or however you say that. Like, it just sounds like, it's better to make moves in quiet. I hate
moves. I'm moving in silence. I'm moving in silence. Which is okay to do, but I just don't feel like you have to declare that. If you're gonna be silent,
silent, then just If when a problem comes along, zip it.
Just be quiet. Do your thing. What's some of yours that you giving away?
Twiggy. Being a
So
cringy millennial. That's what, but to me, like, it's just clunky, you know? Part of slang for me is I love the reinvention, the imagination, creativity it takes to come up with another way to say something. You know, in order for slang to take off, even if it is in your interpersonal group, it's a communal effort. Like, slang doesn't work if it's just one person. Slang, if it's just one person, then it's a catchphrase. But if we are all collectively saying it, whether that be interpersonal, regional, cultural, generational, that takes community. And it's an aspect of slang that I like. I love slang. I love speaking shorthand abbreviations. If I knew how to do Morse code, come on, you know, if I knew how to Delta Foxtrot,
it's never too late,
Alpha,
girl. You can always learn.
Hypoxylot, Mammoth,
yes,
North,
come on,
Platypus, you know, whatever that is. What is that? Alphanumeric military talk? I love it. I love it.
We have the vision board of the 2 pentacles of getting fucked in the forest and stuff. But then you have like objectives, and we're putting Morse code in that as like your first 2 trainings.
Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Delta, Elephant.
Well, that's a pretty short list, I'd say. I think if we're going to do anything or feel inspired in 2024, let's just, you know, like what Mikey just said, feel more in the pocket of like community. If it feels good, we're going to know what the next terms are going to be. But some of the ones that we just named, y'all, they can.
You know, have you heard OPE? OPE? OPE?
What do I mean, girl?
OPE, that's like Midwest slang. It's like, OPE, it's kind of like oops. OPE, okay. Passing through.
That's given very much the white people on the hiking trails.
When they smile? Yeah. OPE. That's kind of how you would use it. OPE.
Oh, okay. I typically just, I don't put my head down, but it's like tunnel vision for me.
I cover my eyes.
I don't see you. You don't see me. I'm minding my business. Like we don't have to greet each other. We don't have to do all of that because we just on our hike. You know what I mean? Like, I get the sentiment of like trying to be like having a warmer presence and stuff like that, but a lot of it,
like, be nice to me elsewhere, not in the middle of nature where there's no other witnesses. You know,
a lot of it just reads performative, and I don't want to be that person saying that, so I just mind my business and keep on pushing because I would rather them do that though than to do the crazy stuff that they used to do in the past.
Push you off the mountain.
Correct.
Down the hill.
Literally 50 years ago, you would have did that, pushed me off the mountain to try to kill me. So I do appreciate that y'all smiling and stuff, but sometimes y'all can just do the hike.
A win is a win.
I guess you're right. What is your biggest want of 2024?
For me, for the year, I would love to continue this journey of finding happiness and peace, knowing that whatever peace, serenity, calmness looks like is going to be different today than a year from now, and then 2 years from now it's going to look different than it was a year ago. Gotta be able to be okay with things constantly changing, circumstances are different, yada yada yada. For me, I hope that 2024, my wish is that I find some clarity as far as purpose, my time and how I spend it here on earth, making sure moments are meaningful and I feel good about being a human. That's all I got right now.
You just rolling with life.
I'm doing my best to roll with life.
In the current,
because like, what else he gonna do?
Absolutely. Well, we done fought against the current for a while. At least for myself, I put myself second to parents, certain friends, family members, etc.
Valid. I feel that.
This year is, I don't want to say all about me, but I'm typically a person like, if I'm sick, I'll still go into work and I'll still work that whole day. I'll even do a double. Girl,
And
sit
just
your
to
ass
prove
at
how
home.
capable I am, I'll do a triple.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But for what, girl? Nobody cares. The boss don't care. 2 weeks after that happens, your boss don't remember that you did that for them. They're complaining about whatever is hot in front of their face. You know what I mean? So you trying to do all this for what? Sit your ass at home, drink some soup, take your NyQuil or whatever, and do what it do. But like, I need to have that mentality. It just has to happen. So that's what we're gonna focus on. It's like pivoting back to self and prioritizing self this year. So
I think so. For me, I think what prioritizing myself looks like is allowing myself to go on a creative journey, to figure out what my creative outlet, my medium is. I feel unfulfilled in a creative sense, but on the flip side, I also don't feel equipped in any capacity to be artistic, whether or not that's like a lack of skills or whatever the case may be. I'm a perfectionist and I see it in my head when I want to draw a picture or a painting, and if it's not exactly how I see it, envisioned it,
you want to give up on it?
Oh, it's just throw me into the bottom of the well and never let me see the sun.
Never. You literally
sunlight.
right there. That's what they want you to do. The little stupid voices in the head and all that. They do that because, girl, you right there at the edge. You right there. If you took one more step, that second or third attempt at the painting or whatever, that would have been the one.
I never
from your
allow
head.
myself to get to that second or third time because I'm like, or fourth time because I'm like, the first time I wasn't any good at it, and like, you know, when you're good at something, or what would be crazy to me is that there's some people out there that are doing a hobby, whether that's sewing or painting, or they are a writer, they build furniture, they sew clothes, they make shoes, whatever the case may be, there's different ways to be artistic. There are some people out there that generally don't care that they're not good, that they are just having a fun time doing it, and I don't know what that's like. I would love to experience not being in my head during something creative. They're like, just write what your heart wants or do what your heart, and then as soon as I'm like given a choice, it becomes like, well, what do you want me to do? You're the one telling me to do this. So what is it that you want me to make? It's never what I want to do, because like if it were up to me, I wouldn't do it, because why would I put that stress on myself of having to create something? So trying to get rid of that mental block, I would really love to be able to accomplish that, or at least chip away at it in 2024. It's not going to be something that completely disappears within the next 12-month time frame, right? Because like that's been an anxiety I've held on to 30 plus years. So
you can't just let go of that with a snap of the finger.
No, I've tried picking up digital art, playing the piano, playing the guitar. So I would love to be able to find a creative outlet that sticks.
Well, I'm a warrior princess like Xena / a siren, and with my magical powers, I'm blessing you with finding that this year. You're going to. I know you will. And listeners,
boss up.
Yep. Yeah. Gonna be like, yo, girl, watch you gonna be collabing with her on doing lives on with your the candy store. All those people. Just watch
candy.
Just watch. I can't wait to do like
you need to put
end
up
of
a
year
carousel on our Instagram. We need to put up references.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, y'all
this.
gotta know who you talking about, because there's so many. But yeah, well, I know we've been like, girl. First of all, listeners, it's been a while since we've been able to talk to y'all. So sorry if this is a little long-winded and we've been chatting for a minute. But we know y'all love listening to us do our thing. But we want to get to one of my favorite segments, our Dirty Bops of the Week.
Bops.
We love us some music. We love to sing. We love to dance.
It's our love language.
Pretty much.
Really is.
That's how we connected.
That's the basis of our friendship is music.
Yeah.
I love this segment.
Well, who is your artist? What is your Dirty Bop of the Week, Mikey?
So I know I said it earlier. I am very much a creature of habit in that I already know all the songs I like, right? So with that, my bop of the week, my dirty bop of the week is World Hold On by Bob Sinclair.
Come on, Bob.
Dance classic. I love the whistle. You put a whistle in any song and it's automatic. Whoop, whoop, boom, 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 boom. Whoop, boop, boom, boom, boom.
Come on.
World, hold on.
Come on.
And it's just like, you're used to anthemic songs like We Are Who We Are, Stronger, What Makes You Beautiful. They are very either like bombastic and loud and, you know, chanty, yeah. Or they are like piano driven ballads. They're very soft and tender that build into
Total eclipse of the heart.
Something like that, you know. I like that this song is a gospel leaning sort of dance moment, so it's not the typical I feel medium in which you would try to shoehorn in a empowering, uplifting, encouraging sonic moment. World, hold on.
Girl, you need to write a Spotify bio with that.
Like, it's just, it feels very classic and timeless, and every single time it pops up on my shuffle, I'm like, it's fine. I'm going to listen to this song for 3 minutes, and I'm going to handle big business.
Oh, my goodness. Someone that's handling big business at such a young age, Miss Tate McRae, who is 20 years old and is already... 20. But the cool thing about Tate that a lot of people don't know is that...
2004.
Tate has been in the industry since she's been 12. Tate was a third place contestant on So You Think You Can Dance.
That's 2016.
The juniors. And then she's always been, because I did a big like research binge on like, well, how did she even transition into music, etc. But she kind of did the whole Justin Bieber, Madison Beer route, the whole YouTube videos and stuff like that. But the one thing I love about Miss Tate McRae is that when she is on stage, granted, half the time she don't be using her microphone, but she's not using her microphone because she is at least performing, girl. Like, we have been, how many times have we not been watching these Fifth Harmony videos and we've been asking, give us energy. You already know how I feel about Dua Lipa. She be looking dead on the stage. All I've been wanting for the last decade is for someone to be hot and then also just give an ounce of energy into this choreography. And so thank you, Tate McRae, who, even though you said sometimes like the capital FM for Jingle Ball Girl, she said, you know, when you got to fly overseas, you know, you have the jet lag and stuff like that. So the vocals was given a 40, but the dance moves 110%. I said, I'll take that, girl, because at least you're committing to your visual. So listen to X's by Tate McRae because you're going to be popping your pussy, and watch the video too because it's really sexy and cohesive and clean and great.
Capital Jingle Bell, are you ready?
Stop. Oh, listen, that's another thing too. We're gonna have to do an episode about her because Jessie is coming out with a documentary, girl, talk about how she was, her side of the story. Girl, Jessie, we gonna be nice. We gonna be nice. Anyway, y'all, alert the press that Dirty Talk is gonna be, you know, putting some. I like this. This was like, I feel like we grew up.
This feels different.
We are definitely not the same girls. 2020 girls.
Are
elevated.
This is cathartic,
right? It was even like just maybe because we, you know, we grown girls, so like we don't always get to have like business. We always get to have like these deep ass conversations. So that maybe that's why I love doing this with you, because it just feels so like natural just to talk.
We're just rambling and we're talking, and it will all come together. You know what I mean? I know what you mean. We see each other.
Anyway, girl. We need to go ahead and get off the air before our listeners say we not listening to this long ass episode. We love y'all. Thank y'all for
Thank you.
If you're listening, we're just get ready. We don't know what's coming in the future, but just, you know, most stuff is gonna be coming. You might get some visuals, you might get some cute pics. We'll see. But just thanks for listening.
We're happy to do this. Yes. I love you. And I love hanging out,
living life, and sharing a cool moment with y'all.
Stories.
Yeah, like I feel like our first 3 collections, we have covered a lot of like educational stuff on, you know, all that, but it's a lot of life that's happened.
There's a lot.
So,
and now we find out who we are in this new period and what this looks like with our new selves. If, as we said earlier, nothing stays forever, and that's
now that we know that, girl. That's
how
what I'm
we
saying.
act
like,
as humans, how we behave, how we talk, how we think. A consistency.
We gonna have to get the visuals so y'all can see. At some point, we are very animated creatures, so it adds a little bit to it. But nevertheless, very, very excited for the future.
Shout out to you if you have social anxiety.
We should. I know we could always be talking about merch, But we be having all these one-liners. We gonna have to get a couple of them on a sweatshirt or something.
We should do like mouse pads.
Oh, come on. Listen, I'm looking at these stickers
A snow
on your
globe.
computer, girl.
How do we close
I'm
it
getting
out?
tired. I think you say the same thing, girl. I think.
This is Mikey. Hey,
Hey, girl.
Hey.
It's a closer, girl.
So we are closing this episode out. We're wrapping it up. This is Mikey.
And it's your girl, Eden Barbarella.
Thank you for listening to Dirty Talk.
Bye.
Dirty Talk.
Come on.
Dirty Talk.
We're going to do some harmony pads with Mikey soon. Yeah, that's going to be another project. Add that to your list. You're going to be releasing your music this year.
Would love to take a vocal lesson.
Yeah. Well,
hear
you
me
already
out of breath the
produced.
entire time?
You said what?
I said you hear me out of breath the entire time.
What?
Is that what that is?
Watch you come out with a little single.
Oh.
A little dance. Give us a little Ariana Grande.
Say
it with our chest. I can see you doing a little dance.
Little, got me playing with my pussy.
Oh, patting it, girl.
Pat, 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 pat.
Legs to the moon like candy. All right, y'all. We go level. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.